Okay, so Budokai Tenkaichi 4 somehow got announced a few days ago, and here is my wish list for all the content that we will get in the game. I've never played a Budokai Tenkaichi game before, but I have played the Raging Blast series, which is, from what I understand, very similar gameplay wise. And if it is anything like Raging Blast, then I'm definitely looking forward to this game. And also because I haven't played the game, I'm not 100% sure on what the content in the game was like, but from my understanding there was basically any character you would have wanted from Z and GT. So I'm just going to assume that all of that content is also going to be in the new game, which might not be the case, but for the sake of simplifying it, I'm just going to assume that. And because of this, basically everything on the wishlist is going to be purely based on Super and Heroes. So starting off with characters, we have Beerus. This is basically a lock. Like, I don't think any Dragon Ball game since Battle of Gods has launched without Beerus as a character in it. Same with Whis. Whis is definitely going to be in the game. Frost, pretty much almost a lock. Like, if they're gonna delve a bit deeper than just like the most popular characters, then Frost is getting in. Same with Cabba. Hit, another one like Beerus where you can't really launch a Dragon Ball game with super content after the character was introduced without him being in it. Then we have Champa and Vardos. They might not be in the game, but they should be. Then we have Zamasu, Goku Black and Merged Zamasu. They're definitely going to be in the game. If you want to have Goku Black Art content, then those are pretty much three of the only like 100% new playable characters they could add. And then I've got the Trio de Danger from the Tournament of Power, so Lavender, Bazil and Bergamo. They're all almost definitely going to get in. If you're going to have like a few extras from the Tournament of Power beyond like the standard ones, then I think those three will be pretty good because they'll offer pretty unique fighting styles which could be interesting to players. Then we have KO and Caulifla as well as Kefla. All three of them will probably get in as well because they're quite popular characters, especially Kefla. Then Ribrianne, who's a bit controversial, like some people don't really like her and find her annoying, but she was pretty much like a key player in the Tournament of Power, so I can see her getting in. Then we have Salnel and Pirina. They're quite a bit unlikely. Like, if anyone out of this list isn't going to get in, it's probably them. But I think it would just be interesting to see a couple more Namekians outside of the standard, which is pretty much just like Nail, Piccolo and Slug. And then moving on to Universe 11, Dispo, Topo and Jiren, they're all pretty likely, and I'd like to see them all, especially if we get Topo in his God of Destruction form as well. And then moving on to a few Heroes characters. I don't think the game is going to include that much from Heroes, but I think it would just be interesting to see a few for like pure fan service and to get something a bit unique that hasn't really been in many Dragon Ball games. So for Heroes I've included Kumba, a pretty popular character from the first arc. Hearts, another pretty popular character. Fu, who was also in Xenoverse and is like probably one of the more well-known characters from Heroes as a whole. Then Super Saiyan Rose 3 Goku Black, just like a pretty ridiculous name, but like some other Dragon Ball games have, with just like a few like more peculiar characters. Like in Raging Blast had like Super Saiyan 3 Broly and like Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, so just doing something along those lines with Super Saiyan Rose 3 Goku Black, who is actually an official character anyway, would be quite interesting. Then we have Gamma 1 and 2 from Superhero. Those are pretty much the only like completely new characters they could do from Superhero, because there's no way that they're going to make Cellmax playable. And then I have Shallot and Giblet from Legends, just to represent the mobile games a bit. as well as Android 21 from Fighters, who's another really popular character that I think would be quite interesting. Then to move on to some new versions of pre-existing characters, we have a DBS Goku, and just to preface this, from my understanding of the Budokai games, you have different versions of the characters based off of the different arcs, and they can all transform into the different transformations at any point during the match. You don't have to select the transformations at the start of the match, like you do for Dragon Ball Fighters or Dragon Ball Xenoverse for the most part. So for Goku, you'd have like a Battle of Gods version, which has Super Saiyan 1, 2, 3 and God, a Resurrection F version which has 1, 2, 3 God and Blue, a Universe 6 version which has 1, 2, 3 God, Blue and Blue Kaioken, a Goku Black Arc version that has the same but is in his more traditional gi, then a Tournament of Power version that focuses on the start of the Tournament of Power, so has all the previous listed forms plus Blue Kaioken times 20 and UI Omen. Then one for like the late Tournament of Power, which has all of those plus completed UI. And then for some extra fan service, maybe have like a few of his costumes from Heroes as well. Then moving on to Vegeta, you have the same thing, which would be like Battle of Gods, which would just be Super Saiyan 1 and 2 in his traditional outfit. Then you have Resurrection F, 1, 2 and Blue in his traditional, his Whis outfit. Then Universe 6 arc, which would be the same. Goku Black arc, which would be 1, 2 and Blue in his traditional outfit. Then Tournament of Power, which would be 1, 2 Blue, Blue and Blue Evolved. And then a Dragon Ball Super Broly version, which also has God as well as those 4 forms. And then we have Gohan. We don't really need a Battle of Gods version for Gohan because that's basically just the Buu Saga version. You could have a Resurrection F version, which would just have Super Saiyan in his green tracksuit. Gohan also wasn't in the Goku Black Arc or Universe 6, so there isn't versions for that. Then you have Tournament of Power, which would have 1, 2 and Ultimate, which you could debate whether that's necessary or not, because it's also basically just his Buu Saga version. But then you have his superhero version, which would be in this completely new design, which is probably my favourite design for Gohan recently. And then have 1, 2 Ultimate and Beast. And then to go on to Future Trunks, we have just one version of him to add on, which would be a version for the Goku Black Arc, which would just have Super Saiyan 1, 2, as well as Super Saiyan Rage. So then we have Piccolo. There's only really one version of Piccolo that's needed, which would be a version for Dragon Ball Super Superhero, which has his ultimate form and his orange form. Other than that, you basically just need his versions from Z, because nothing really changed for Piccolo beyond that. Then moving on to Frieza, you could have a Resurrection F version, which has like base, well not base, his final form, which is technically his base, but yeah, so you have his final form and his golden form. And then another one for Tournament of Power, which has like again his final form and his golden form, but with the halo, which realistically could just be a skin. So yeah, then we have Broly, which would have base form, his rage form, his Super Saiyan form, and then his full power Super Saiyan form. And then we have DBS, Goten and Trunks. Again, anything before superhero is basically just very similar to how they were in the Buu Saga. So the only versions needed will be for superhero, which would just be them in their bases with their new designs, along with potentially the ability to fuse and go into that fat Gotenks. And maybe if they want to please some fans, they could introduce a teenage Gotenks exclusive to this game. And then we have DBS Pan. So yeah, there isn't really much to say with that one. And then I've listed a few more Heroes variations of characters. So we have a Xeno Goku, which would have Super Saiyan 1 through to Super Saiyan 4 Limit Breaker, which is quite a popular new form, as well as Xeno Vegeta with all the exact same forms as Goku, a Xeno Trunks, which would be able to go 1, 2, 3 and God. And then we have Xeno Gohan, who, from my understanding and like what I have seen from the manga and various clips, Xeno Gohan can go Super Saiyan 4. I'm not sure whether he can go Super Saiyan 3 though. So for now, I'll just say Super Saiyan 1, 2 and 4. And then we have Xeno Goten, who again I'm not really sure on what transformations he has, but from what I've seen and from what I've heard, he might have potential unleashed. But if he doesn't, then he just has Super Saiyan. And then we have Xeno Pan. Again, there's not really much to say because Pan doesn't have any transformations to my knowledge. Then we have Tournament of Power versions for all the Universe 7 fighters. So, like for instance, Android 18 in her tracksuit, Android 17 in his Park Ranger outfit. And yeah, just everyone else in their Universe 7 outfits if there's anything different. Then for fusions, we just have like all the Gogetas, Vegetos, Gotenks, Kefla, just like all the standard ones. Maybe throw in a few extras. Like I think I've seen that there was a fusion between Tien and Yamcha in one of the games, so it'd be good to bring that back. And maybe pull some from Dragon Ball Fusions on 3DS. So like the fusion between Goku and Broly, the one between Beerus and Whis. That would be another interesting twist they could put on the game. Then for maps, we have the Universe 6 stage. For the Goku Black Arc, just have like the destroyed like future timeline. Then the Tournament of Power stage. They could also include the Tournament of Power exhibition stage as well. The ice area from Dragon Ball Super Broly, I don't think it really has a name. And then the Red Ribbon Army base from Superhero. Then to throw in a couple from Heroes like I've done for every other section. I have the Prison Planet and the Sunudo Universe area. I don't really know what to call it, but the place from like the new Time Space War arc from Heroes I think could be quite interesting, even though it does kind of just look a bit like West City. Then for online, just make it good, because I know there's a lot of people that are looking forward to the PvP aspect of getting to play against people online. So as long as there's rollback and also like a casual mode as well as a ranked mode, because sometimes I just want to play a game and not have to worry about getting like ranked down if I lose to someone. But then on the other side, there are lots of people that are probably looking forward to a ranked mode, including me. So hopefully we get both, as well as maybe a tournament mode, because I don't know whether the past games had that, but I think that'd be a good inclusion. And then for story, I'm saying my main wish is to get Dragon Ball Super, so from Battle of Gods through to Superhero, hopefully, because no game has done that yet, so it'd be good to see that. Also Z as well, but I'm not hoping for that, in the sense that if they don't have it, I won't be upset or annoyed at all, because we have like 1,000 different Dragon Ball games that tell the story of Raditz through to Buu. GT, I'd like to see GT again, but I think it's a bit unlikely because it's not really the main focus anymore. Then Heroes, we don't really need Heroes. Like the story of Heroes isn't really that popular. It's more so just like the various like elements of fan service that make people like it. And also the story is just like all over the place, and there's loads of different characters they need to add to even think about adapting it. And yeah, that's basically everything that I'm looking forward to for Budokai Tenkaichi 4. The game probably won't even be called that, but it's just very interesting that within the past month or so we've had this and Storm Connection be announced. It's looking very good for not Dragon Ball. It's looking very good for anime games this year. It's a good start to the year. Maybe we'll see a few other surprises, but I'm very looking forward to this game. And like I said, for Storm Connections, expect a few more videos on this. And yeah, make sure to check out my series where I've been running through all the games I've played in 2022. By the time of this video being out, there'll probably only be one part, but part 2 should be following shortly after this video, where I'll cover the games that I played from late March all the way through to June. And then after that I'll do one from July to September, and then November to December, and that'll be all the parts for that series, and then I'll look to moving on to something else. So yeah, hope to see you in the next one.